I just got the most powerful gaming phone yet. This is the REDMAGIC 10 Pro, an insane new phone designed for gaming. Packed in here, we have the insanely powerful Snapdragon 8 Elite chip with 16GB of RAM, a massive 7050 mAh battery, along with dual speakers, an under-display camera and fingerprint reader, a smooth 144Hz display, and the highest screen-to-body ratio ever on a phone. And to ensure your phone doesn't overheat while gaming, it has an active cooling fan and uses liquid metal to cool core components. And we also have a game mode switch, which when pressed, the phone turns from an otherwise normal looking Android home screen into an all-out gaming hub. The RGB lights glow brighter, the cooling fan spins up, and the car engine noises roar into action. I've never seen anything like this before. But how powerful is this phone? And can we turn it into a gaming PC, if it wasn't one already? And an even better question, could this thing replace my gaming PC completely? You see, on my channel, I've turned many phones into a gaming PC. I tried out the original S20, I then got the S24 Ultra, and I even tried a budget solution such as Samsung's A05s. But one thing I've never tried turning into a gaming PC before is an actual gaming phone. Now, Samsung phones have something called Samsung DeX, which basically allows you to turn the phone into a full desktop experience, and these phones from REDMAGIC actually come with their own version of that. So we're going to be putting it to the test and seeing what kind of games we can run on here. When you first take this thing out the box, you're greeted with the REDMAGIC logo. Then under it, we have the phone itself in Lightspeed White. The phone comes with an 80-watt charger, a red USB-C cable, and even a case. The phone also comes with a pre-applied screen protector too. Nice. Overall, the design is great. The screen is literally just like a slab of glass with no notches or camera cutouts. But make no mistake, as soon as you flick that gaming mode switch, you are reminded what you have here. Turning it on and setting it up for the first time, we have the REDMAGIC 10 OS, which is based off of Android 15. It's incredibly customizable, and if you don't want that gamer look, you can set it to how I have it here. On the back, we have two 50-megapixel cameras, which take decent pictures. You do get a REDMAGIC watermark at the bottom, and they're not the best cameras in low light performance, and the ultra-wide camera feels really off. But as a phone meant for gaming, it's pretty impressive these cameras come with it. On lighter backgrounds, you can actually see the implant of the under-display camera on the screen. This is very impressive technology, but when you actually use the front-facing camera, you'll find that the frame rate is quite low, very sort of laggy and choppy, and when you do take a picture, it applies heavy post-processing in order to basically turn the photo from an otherwise low-quality photo into a relatively decent one. Sometimes the post-processing gets it right, but sometimes it can get it very wrong and completely ruin your selfies. But I hope REDMAGIC can optimize the camera in a future update. But let's actually run some benchmarks on the REDMAGIC 10 Pro with the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. Starting off, I tried a good old Geekbench score, and I must admit, I was blown away by these results. On a single core, we got 3,186, and in multi-core, we got 10,114. Now, if we compare that to something like the S24 Ultra from my last video, these are the results. As you can see, the S24 Ultra only got 2,172 single core and only 6,782 multi-core. In fact, I actually ran a Geekbench benchmark on this computer that you can see behind me, and here is what it got. It got 2,271 single core and 11,888 multi-core. So this phone is actually getting dangerously close to actually beating out my gaming PC. In fact, it even beats it out in single core performance. Now, CPU performance is good and all, but what about graphics? That's really going to make the difference in gaming. So I ran the Wildlife Extreme test, and we got a score of 6,994. And with our heavily bottlenecked recording PC behind me, 12,365. So yeah, having a dedicated GPU in a PC is definitely going to smoke an SoC Snapdragon 8 Elite in a phone, but still, we're getting very good performance out of this phone. This is definitely one of the most powerful phones I've ever had. Anyway, let's get this thing plugged into my setup and try and turn it into a gaming PC. So to do that, we're going to connect a keyboard, mouse, and monitor and see what happens. So I've got the phone here on my lovely 3D printed phone stand, but we're going to plug this in to a USB Type-C dock. This has got all the ports you could ever want: USB, HDMI, Ethernet, SD cards, all that good stuff. So we'll plug that into the REDMAGIC like that. I'm also using a wireless keyboard and mouse solution. And then we just take our HDMI cable, just plug that into our dock. And as you can see, we are now mirroring what's on our phone on the monitor. So you may be thinking, and I know I was definitely thinking this, where's the desktop mode? Well, what you need to do is you actually need to flick the gaming mode switch, just like this, and boom, here we go. So you've basically got all of your games here that we're going to be trying out in this video. And we've also got some quick settings and stuff down here, like mouse sensitivity. It's pretty basic. It hasn't got like individual windows that you can drag around and a taskbar and that kind of thing, but still, it's got everything you could ever want, really. And you can actually use the phone screen as like a little touchpad here, which is quite cool. Or if you don't want to, you can just exit out of it and actually use the phone alongside this desktop-like mode as well. So I've also set up a screen capture so you guys can see exactly what I'm seeing on my monitor. I know a lot of people wanted to see that after my last video's disaster of trying to film the phone screen. Right, let's try some gaming. Let's start off with Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, one thing that I do like about their gaming modes is you've got a little FPS counter here. And in my testing, this is actually quite accurate because in a game like Minecraft Bedrock Edition, there isn't an FPS counter. It also shows you like your network, your battery percentage, which I'm probably going to need to charge this soon, and the time as well, so you don't get carried away in an intensive gaming session. Now, one thing that really sucks about playing keyboard and mouse on the REDMAGIC host mode, it doesn't work that well. Now, as you can see here, as I'm clicking and I can drag, but I can't actually move forward with WASD, but I can, and that's because I've done something a little bit clever. So if you go to the bottom here, you obviously have this little gaming mode, but we've got settings here so you can adjust your mouse sensitivity, which is pretty cool. They're thinking of our keyboard and mouse players. But if we go to this keyboard tab here, if you go actually into keyboard and mouse mapping, which I believe is what they call Gravity X, you can actually remap keybinds to on-screen mobile controls. I'll show you what I mean. So I've got one set up here for Minecraft. So if we just go on the settings here, what you can do is you can actually add a button, for example, I don't know, G on my keyboard, and I can actually drag and put that over an on-screen mobile control, which basically means when I press the key G, it presses the button which would normally be on the touch screen. So what I've done is I've set up this little D-pad here, which can actually change it to WASD automatically for you. You just drag that, put that over your D-pad, and you've basically got a WASD controls on a mobile game using the D-pad. The next thing is, well, how are we going to go about the mouse movements? Because as you can see here, we've got a cursor. Although we can click and drag and WASD, it's not very intuitive. And then if we try and break a block, as you can see, it doesn't do anything. Well, what you do is you press the middle click on your mouse, which actually hides the cursor and allows you to look around and allows you to interact with the game. So as you can see here on the right hand side, I've got mouse button 1 and mouse button 2 on attack and block. We've got this one, which is mouse movement, which basically allows your mouse to basically control where you're looking on screen, as long as you have that in the middle or around this kind of area. In my testing, that seems to be how it works. I don't know why this thing can't just support native keyboard and mouse. I'm pretty sure on my other phones, if you just plug in a keyboard and mouse, it detects it and lets you use it. And also when I break blocks, the phone actually vibrates. So that's a bit weird as well. But yeah, if you want to play Minecraft Bedrock Edition at 120 FPS, but using these sort of janky mobile controls, then you can do it. All right, so what I've done is I've gone ahead and I've used my controller and I've paired it to the REDMAGIC phone. So now we can actually play Minecraft Bedrock Edition with controller, and we've pretty much got native support. As you can see here, we've got this cool little menu here. And the reason we've got this menu is because we're actually mirroring the phone screen to the monitor right now. So that whole game mode thing that you saw, the mirroring, we've actually had to disable that in order to get controller support working on the REDMAGIC. As you can see, the resolution isn't the best because we're essentially just mirroring the phone screen. But one thing that I will say is the latency, there is hardly any, to be honest. It's pretty much instant, and this does actually feel like it's playing in 144 Hertz on my monitor as well. It feels super smooth. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't use the keyboard and mouse properly on this phone. We have to use the touchscreen remapping Gravity X tool. It is possible, to play with controller if you want to do that. All right then, so since Minecraft Bedrock Edition wasn't very challenging for this phone, let's try Minecraft Java Edition and see how much FPS we can actually get. And we're actually using the mirroring mode, so we don't have any janky keyboard and mouse controls, so I can basically play as if I'm playing on a PC. So we're on 1.7.10 here. We're on pretty good video settings, no Optifine. Let's see what FPS we get. You ready? Ooh. 300 FPS. I mean, yeah, it is an old version of Minecraft, and the performance is obviously going to be good, but this is pretty good performance, to be honest. Let's try 1.21. So we've got 1.21 Optifine loaded up here. Yeah, 400 FPS on 1.21. But yeah, we're playing super well on here, as you can expect. Okay, here we go. Finally, some terrain. Quite big terrain, actually, to load in. And this is just handling it like a champ. This is a PC game, by the way. This is not meant to run on an Android phone, but it's just running so well. Now, yeah, we've got Optifine. These are our video settings. Now, interestingly, there is something slightly strange about running Minecraft Java Edition on here, and that's that the performance varies depending on whether you're using the mirroring mode like I'm doing or using the native game desktop-like mode. If we go ahead and turn off the mirroring mode, which I believe is here, mirror host mode, if we go ahead and turn that on, go back on. So yeah, this is the native game modes here. If we go back onto Minecraft Java Edition 1.21, the world that I was literally just in, our controls are all over the place. We don't have native keyboard and mouse support, which is annoying. But if we look at our frames here, yeah, we're sort of capped at about 250 FPS, which is very weird. Same on 1.7.10 as well. We just can't get any higher. So the best way to get the most performance out of this phone is definitely to use it in mirroring mode. So now that we're essentially mirroring our phone screen to the monitor, and you guys can see it as well, we actually have way more options than we would if we just flick the game mode switch and put it into the native desktop gaming mode. We actually have this thing here called Super Bass with so many options. So Gravity X was obviously what I was showing you earlier, allows you to remap your keyboard and mouse to touchscreen controls, but you can also do the same with controllers as well. So if you've got a special controller like mine with some paddles on the back, you can actually remap them. It's incredibly customizable. You can also project to monitors, which is essentially what we're doing now. And we've even got this plugin library with so many options. I mean, we've got Diablo mode, which basically puts it on the absolute maximum performance. We've even got an anime assistant called Mora, who doesn't actually seem to do much, unfortunately. Interesting choice by REDMAGIC. And the other thing as well is if we go into the settings here for Minecraft, we've got so many options. We can change the screen touch adjustment. We can actually set the performance mode for different games. We've got GPU settings as well. So the Snapdragon Adreno GPU, we can put it into different modes depending on which game. And there's even a custom mode as well. We've also got a show here where we've got different effects for different games. And we've even got on-demand recording. So if you do something cool in a game, you can make sure that's captured, which reminds me a lot of GeForce Now. I really wish we had these kind of menus on the actual desktop mode. Right, next up, we're going to be playing some Fortnite. Now, if you've got Fortnite mobile on your phone and you connect a keyboard and mouse or pair a keyboard and mouse, it doesn't work. It doesn't let you do anything, and we want our native keyboard and mouse support. We don't want to use a controller, so what's the next best thing? Gravity X on REDMAGIC, and that has actually allowed me to use the keyboard and mouse on Fortnite mobile. I'm not sure if this is borderline cheating. All right, so here we are in Fortnite mobile. It's pretty smooth, actually. This is what it looks like. We've got the WASD D-pad. We've got all of my hotkeys that I would normally use on PC. Now, obviously, I've got all my building keys as well, mapped as well. We can build like a pro Fortnite player, but the game thinks that we're playing using mobile controls. On Minecraft Bedrock Edition, the controls felt really janky, but on here, they feel super natural because you've got all of your options basically on screen, and then all you do basically is just remap the keys. Editing's a bit weird as well. For some reason, the cursor doesn't free up, so you can't actually edit. So that's a bit of a pain. And if I go ahead and get some weapons here, as you can see, we also have aim down sights, and full-on keyboard and mouse level of aiming. I'm not sure if we have aim assist on here. That would be really unfair. Keyboard and mouse and aim assist. In terms of our performance, as you can see on the top, we're getting about 70 FPS. Now I'm running on relatively high settings right now, as you can see the shadows and everything. And if we put the video settings on the lowest, we get like over 144 FPS, which makes the game feel really smooth. Right, so here we are on like the lowest video settings possible. So it turns out we can't actually do 144 frames. I think that is literally just a Fortnite mobile problem. It doesn't let you go any higher than 90, but still, it's pretty smooth. Arguably, the game doesn't look very good. It looks really bad, doesn't it? It's like PlayStation 2 graphics. It's not really designed to be running like I'm running it right now. If you want proper Fortnite performance, sadly, I think GeForce Now might be your best bet. So if you look next to my name here, we actually have a phone icon. So it does believe that we're playing using touch controls when we're not. It's borderline cheating, in my opinion. All right, so here we are playing some Call of Duty Mobile. Our controls are all set for mobile. Not to worry though, because we can use Gravity X. I'll just show you how you do it. So put that over the D-pad, mouse movement, I'll put that in the middle. It all depends on the on-screen controls basically. So if you want the right mouse button to aim, then we'll do that. You can also add a keyboard for say reload, R, and then we'll just call it something. Save. And then if we turn off the mouse, we've got mouse control as well. So yeah, I'm only going to use the practice range. I'm not actually going to play a real game with this because it, again, probably is cheating. We don't actually have a fire button. Oh, there we go. This is how you basically play a mobile game with keyboard and mouse, thanks to REDMAGIC's Gravity X. So yeah, can you really turn this phone into a gaming PC? To be fair, it's limited. You can only play mobile games on it right now. It's just all about software and drivers and that kind of thing. And then I'm sure we can revisit this phone later on, and I'm sure it will be a complete gaming beast. Overall, I'm really impressed by the REDMAGIC 10 Pro. It literally has all the tech you could ever want. Also, it has no camera bump either, so you can put it down on a table and it lies completely flat, and even some old school appreciated features like a headphone jack. But for me, the thing where it does fall short is wireless charging. It doesn't have it at all, which I was pretty surprised about. However, it does make up for it with insanely fast charging. Also, the cameras on this phone could be better, but at the end of the day, it's a gaming phone. As for the desktop mode itself, I feel like it could definitely do with some work. While it mirrors the screen, and when you flick it into game modes, it comes up with that incredible gaming hub, I can't help but think that it is literally just mirroring what's on this phone screen and adding a cursor. What I mean by that is games like Minecraft. If you plug in a keyboard and mouse into Minecraft on, say, the S24 Ultra, it recognizes the keyboard and mouse pretty much as I would on PC. I would really like it if games that natively supported keyboard and mouse could work with this phone. And the other thing, which isn't REDMAGIC's fault, is the driver support for WinLater on the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. I really wanted to do some WinLater emulation on here, but as you can see on your screen right now, every time I tried to load up Fallout 3, it would simply load for a split second and then crash. And that's because the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip that's in this phone is so new that no one's made any drivers for it just yet. So I really feel like we're not pushing the full potential out of the Snapdragon 8 Elite in this phone. Now I've been doing lots of research to try and see if I can get a secret driver for the Snapdragon 8 Elite for this phone, but they just don't seem to be available anywhere. The closest thing that I found was an app called Game Fusion, which looks really cool. However, after reaching out to them, they said that it's still in development stage and won't be releasing anytime soon. So I think it's going to be a little while before Snapdragon 8 Elite chips become more mainstream, drivers become more available for them, and then we'll be able to do some proper PC gaming on this otherwise very powerful chip. But make sure you guys get subscribed, because as soon as the drivers drop on WinLater for the Snapdragon 8 Elite, I'm going to be pushing this to the absolute max with every single game that will run on it. Thank you to REDMAGIC for sending me over this phone. It is an incredible piece of kit. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this mini review and desktop gaming PC light test. Make sure you guys get subscribed and like the video, and I'll see you in my next one.